And so you can speak to your child, that love is patient, love is kind, love is selfless. And Johnny, boy, how he demonstrates selflessness for sure. Love is calm, it's honorable, it's content, humble, meek, forgiving. And by meekness, it doesn't mean that you're just kind of a mousy type person. Meek people are, in the biblical sense, are strong people, but they're not forceful in a sense that they force their view, but they also don't just sit there and just let you be, walk over them. And so meekness is not a in the sense of what we in the English language would define meekness to be. Johnny demonstrates meekness in the way he lives his life. He's strong. He stands up. He accomplishes things, and so but he's humble about it. He's not after reward, and he's content, and Johnny's not doing anything to bring dishonor to himself, his family, or to Christ, or to the causes that he's involved in. He's a honest, truthful person. His demeanor is calm. He doesn't get excited about, um, angry, if you will, um, about things. And he definitely is not focused just on himself. And his kindness. He just got a big heart. In one of the scenes, in the scene of the heckler and stuff, one of the other people said that Johnny wouldn't bite a biscuit. And so he's just a kind person, patient, and very forgiving. And it's difficult to live that kind. It's learned because it's just against our nature to forgive. But the Bible's like 7 times 70, 490 times, y'all. And it's a special person, like I say, who can make it to 490. But I don't think there's a limit to it. I think if you made it to 490 times forgiving somebody, well, try for 500. I mean, just keep going. By then you surely will have developed the habit of, forgiving spirit and that kind of thing. But it's not in our nature to just be, forgive, forgive, forgive for the same or similar type events over and over. But it goes a lot better for you as a person spiritually and physically in some sense to be a forgiving person because you're just not carrying that around with you. You're letting it go. And, we kind of touch on that in Snowflake, which is another book that's coming up here towards the end of the year. So, but the character in there, the main character, Clint, he has to learn to basically forgive himself. And once he can do that, then, and recognize what he is. And so maybe that's, start there with yourself. I mean, this is one of those times where you might want to, where I kind of might apply. Forgive yourself, don't carry around the baggage of the problems you've done. Forgive yourself, repent, and change who you are. And that character in that book, he goes around and he works to pay his debts. And so in the physical world, that's something you can do. In a spiritual world, you can't, there's nothing you can do to pay that debt. Okay, somebody else had to do that for you. But it's one of the instances where you can work to pay your debts and make amends with people. And if there's anything that's you or that you've done, work to make it right. If it's something that someone else has done and they're not working to make it right, well, forgive them anyway. Okay, you forgive them and you move on. It doesn't mean you have to stay there and just continue to be a doormat, but at the same time, you don't want to carry that around. So anyway, that's Johnny, and that's what love is, and this is the motivation, if you will, behind why he does the things he does.